Have you seen the title of this episode? Spicy! Hello, welcome to my channel. This is Asha Media TV. My name is Asha. If you are new here, welcome. This is where I like to watch and react and review a variety of stuff related to sci-fi, fantasy, and comic books. And in today's video, I'm finally going to react to episode 4 of the first season of Amazon Prime's hit comedy show, Upload. So if you are familiar with my channel, you're a subscriber, and you've been waiting for me to react to this episode, I'm assuming you're up to date with the changes made to my reaction style. If you are not, click on the link above. I give you an explainer why I had to change up my reaction style and what options I give subscribers if they want more bonus content that I cannot offer here on YouTube. Nonetheless, the style of reaction you can now expect on this channel here on YouTube is a watch-along, follow-along style. So that means that on your end, you get access to the episode of the TV show or whatever property I'm going to watch, and then I have it on my end. And then what you do is follow along with me as I give you vocal and visual cues to play, pause, rewind, chit-chatter a little bit here and there if necessary about the episode as I watch it. And then at the end, I give you my review of the episode. So if you don't have time or you're not interested in doing the follow along, watch along thing, just head on over into the description and you'll see timestamps that you can skip forward to my review and answer and participate in the comment section if you want. And just in case you want more of an alternative reaction to this episode with bonus content, feel free to join my private community at ashamediaclub.com. It's free to sign up and the link is in the description box for you. Okay, let's now dive into this. So before I press play, spoilers ahead. Just in case I missed you. Obviously, I'll be talking about what's happened in this episode, but I may also touch on things that happened in previous episode of this show. So if you're not up to date with this show, by at least episode 4, where I'm at right now, then this is not the time to watch this video. Okay, with that out of the way, let's now focus on what episode 4 is all about. I saw the title, and that gave me some ideas already. But let's see what it actually says. It's the synopsis. I'm using Amazon Prime as my streaming service. Well, obviously, because the show is an Amazon show. All right, so episode 4 here. It says, Nora thinks she may have misjudged Nathan. Nathan and his girlfriend Ingrid are interviewed about the challenges of romance between a living person and an upload. Okay, well, if you watched my reaction to episode 3, you know that I was gagging with like disgust and yeah, I almost threw up honestly in my mouth when I saw Ingrid trying to buy a spicy suit to have a spicy time with her with Nathan, who's not physically yeah, anyway. So we're gonna see in this episode, obviously, hopefully, how that all works. Are you ready? If you are, keep watching. If not, skip to the review. I'll see you then. Alrighty, so while I'm setting up, what I'm going to do is give you an overview of how my watch-along reaction stuff works. So it's pretty simple. I give you the cue as to what time I am starting, and if I'm going to pause, I tell you what time I'm pausing at. If I'm going to rewind, I'll let you know if I'm rewinding 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and I try my best to remember to always say the time so that you can follow along with ease. And now I'll give you the 2 instances to which I pause for. Number 1, unfortunately, but it is the way it is, because it's a streaming service based on, you know, good, strong internet connection for the most part. The number 1 reason I'll likely pause is to allow the video to buffer if there's buffering issues, and I'll let you know. And usually it doesn't last more than a couple of seconds. So I'll say something like, okay, I'm pausing at this, and then waiting a few seconds, 1, 2, 3, and then I'll do a countdown, usually 3, 2, 1, play. Okay? And the second reason I'll pause, of course, is to either check out something on the screen that looks interesting, but for the most part, it would be to rewind 10, 20, 30 seconds, and then watch along from there. It's pretty straightforward, but I like to still give an explainer, especially if this is maybe your first time doing a watch along and follow along. So, and, just try to be considerate. Okay, so now the next thing I want you to also know is that sometimes I'll stop just to kind of give commentary, especially if the information we just came from watching is very loaded with some really interesting stuff that instead of babbling over while it's playing, I'm just going to stop and kind of have a conversation with you via the camera. And you can therefore answer some of my questions or perhaps give your reply in the comment section related to what I'm saying as a commentary. For TV shows like this, I tend not to do that just because, especially for a comedy, but because this is sci-fi based, and I've noticed that more and more there's so many interesting nuggets of real world, possible future, maybe not so future tech that is presented on the show. It's really been a great conversation piece, outside of YouTube anyway. So I may share it with you if I feel it's necessary, and you might just enjoy it. Well, let's hope so anyway. Okay, so now that I have that out of the way, let me now get ready for my countdown with you. So on my screen here, I am at 0000. I've skipped over the commercial that usually comes right before the show begins, and I'm ready to do a countdown. So you ready to rock? Let's go, people. The spicy suit episode. It's not spicy, it's the other S word that apparently YouTube doesn't like being said too often. Okay, so I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1, play. He's playing golf. Oh my God. An endangered parrot sandwich. That's what this man just said. What does that taste like? Oh gosh. That's fair. I don't think I've ever heard this AI talk. So where did this guy come from? He just like summoned him there. Was that his, maybe it's his rep? Oh. Hmm. Hmm. All right. Each of these AI have their own little personality. Okay. I think. Oh my gosh. That's like living hell. Whoa. Okay. I'm gonna pause. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, wait. Let me just give it a few seconds because I want to see what else she's gonna say. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to pause. All right, so I'm going to pause here at 3 minutes and 35 seconds, so 3335. And I just want to make a commentary because I suspected they might show this, but I just didn't know how and in what context, and this is freaking me out. Because what I'm understanding with upload, it's like an artificial heaven really made for those that, or just made, period. Man, it's like in here, mankind has developed technology that allows you to pretty much live forever in terms of your consciousness, just not in a physical body until they perfect the download aspect of things, which, as we saw in episode 3, that's not working out so great. So what's scary about this for me, just I need to kind of say it now because I'm probably going to forget by the time I review this, or maybe I won't, I don't know. But what's scary about this is like, it's one thing for some reason, I don't, what's the best way I can articulate this? It's easy for me to kind of relate to this because I'm watching adults. But when they show children in this world, I don't know why I freak out in my mind because I'm just like, I feel like who's making the choice to allow the child's consciousness to live in an artificial world and suffer like that? Because that's suffering to me. Can you imagine? This kid is frozen. His consciousness cannot do nothing at that level in upload because there's no money. That's just, it's weird. And I think what they're trying to show is that even in something like this, and I feel they touched on this a lot in the last episode at Nathan's funeral, when we compared Ingrid's parents and their wealth and what they're able to afford in terms of like unlimited data in a place like Upload versus this kid who, if no one puts in any money, he's in a frozen, it's like, you might as well, basically, I think in my mind what I'm trying to say, and I apologize, I just have a hard time articulating this, is that, in my opinion, you might as well just be dead. You might as well just have no conscious awareness of anything, like, of anything beyond good. Because if you're going to suffer in an artificial world like that, what is the point of being in it? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I just find this is just crazy that a technology like this, and I think that's the commentary, right? Can you imagine we created artificial world where we can upload ourselves, hence the term upload, and no matter who you are, your enjoyment of that reality, just like in the real world, is based on your class, is based on your economic status. Okay, I think that's what it was. I think that's what I've been trying to say. Thank you for your patience for trying to hear me babble that out, but it freaks me out. It just freaks me out. Okay, let's keep watching. All right, doing my countdown to 3, 2, 1, play. Uh, oh. Oh my gosh. So are they saying capitalism is the cause of this? Yeah. in your shoulder blades. Oh my gosh, it's creepy. It's a really sharp piece of your body. Wow. Mm. Uh-oh. Oh gosh. I don't like that. This isn't funny. I'm sorry, I don't find that funny at all. No, she really does. Oh gosh. That therapist, her blouse is so nice. Ang Lee. And you just leave him there as usual because you don't care about Nathan. Yeah, just buzz off. Hmm. I can't wait to see how we. I'm sure Nathan's gonna leave her. There's gonna be some kind of breakup. I hope. I want to see how that unfolds. What is that? A bone? I'd still tell him there was one, so he won't lie. Hmm. Aw, Nora's crushing hard. Nora's probably gonna try to break them up, thinking that Ingrid's wrong for him and all that. Oh my god, look at that picture. Oh man. That's something I love about this show. It makes you laugh on levels you don't even know. It's like you don't even know if something's funny. I don't know how to explain it. It's my kind of humor. That's all I know. Oh my gosh. Wow. How is this gonna work? I'm freaked out, man. Oh, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna interrupt it? Okay, so where's her physical body as this is happening? She's simulating this in her bathroom? I want to know how they're claiming this scientifically works in this world. What? So it's a mind over matter situation here, or what? Okay, she's compromised. I'm sorry. I know she has a crush and all, but it's conflict of interest. Kitty cat. Oh, Clyde. Okay, so she had to pause out. Yes. Now fix the situation. That's your job. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, this is so awkward. But obviously it's gonna show he's attracted to her. Mm-hmm. Showing. Look at her face. Thirsty girl. Oh my goodness. Don't. She's gonna come back. Oh my gosh, she's gonna come back to your body and see this. Okay, phew. Mm-hmm. But not for you. Mm-hmm. No. Is she not seeing the bigger picture, though? The problem of what she's doing? There are worse puns out there. Yeah. Stalker much. Anyways, I'll save it for my review, but there's something I feel quite selfish on her end, Nora's end. Oh gosh. 300 minutes? Oh my gosh. Ew. Wow, was that their attempt at making fun of Quebec French people? Because just shut your door on him. Shut your door. Don't do it, girl. Don't give it in. Ah. Ah. Exactly. Paper bag him. Sometimes you gotta paper bag. That's the way to go. is great how they're showing it like this, though. I love it. That's hilarious. I wonder how many people in real life, though, this is a daily thing for them. You're not too happy with your current, so you start thinking about the possible while you're with the current. Mm-mm-mm. Hey, they didn't do their mutual consent thingy that they did from the first time. Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right, motherfucker, because you screwed her over last time. Give him 4. Yes! Yes! Exactly. It's a bitch. And then he's probably thinking of Nora now. Yay! That means in the next coming episodes, it's going to explore a little bit, but I don't like how Nora's going about it, though. Okay, who really has the shit end of the stick, though, just to do all this? It's the living person. She's in her bathtub in a mega suit to give this dude, if you're lucky, 10-15 minutes of pleasure. Goodbye. Alright, what is Fran gonna find? Fran's my girl. Alright, so Nathan went into a convenience store before the accident. Ingrid! She sabotaged his car! Oh my gosh. Question is, though, how's she gonna submit that without getting herself in trouble? Because I have a theory now about Ingrid, if this is true. Oh, very good. All right, we're done. Okay, dokie. Review time. Let's do it. All right, so I got some stuff, but you know how I roll. If you're not familiar, what I usually like to do is touch on at least, 1 or 2, 3 things that I didn't like or I was confused about, and then end off with things that I really enjoyed about the episode. So in terms of things I didn't like, nothing specific except for the consistency. So for instance, I think it was in episode 2 when Nora slept with that guy from Knightley, and they had this like mutual consent little mechanism where, they tape themselves saying, I consent to this situation. And I thought that was so cool, right? Especially with this whole Me Too movement, kind of thing. So the fact that they didn't do that again this time around, like she just, got undressed and they start doing the deed without the consent thing, I was like, oh, that's not very consistent. I felt that they should have at least kept the consistency of that because what's the point, right, if you don't do that? So that's just a minor little nitpick at it. No big deal. Which now easily leads me into the 3 things that I like and I take away from this episode. So let's start with now this whole concept of a class system in the upload world. If you're watching along and following along with my reaction, you know that there was a moment where I paused and I was kind of like just flabbergasted and almost in shock of what I was watching on the screen, where they're showing how if you don't have a certain amount of money in the real world, you can't even afford a humane, really, that's the word I think I was looking for at the time because I was babbling, but that's what it is. It shocks me to think that they would create a world like this where If your physical body is no longer available, you just get uploaded to this world. And if you don't have the money in the real world to pay for the conveniences available in the in upload, then you could literally just be frozen as a consciousness. And we saw that with a young child who can barely go past the first page of Harry Potter because they can't afford it, and then it gets frozen for a month until somebody adds in more money. So I'm wondering if there's somewhat of a welfare system for that, where the state or the governing, whatever government is available there, pays or subsidizes low income people to be in upload in those low income tiers. It's just nuts. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I never conceived of that in a sense where we would get to this point, according to the show, where we would make this world where your consciousness can be in it, and even in that world there is a separation by class, and because of the separation by class, the value of your experience in an artificial world is affected to the point where you could just literally have no purpose, no use, no joy, nothing if you can't afford it. So, in my opinion, just bottom line, the best way I can articulate it, I don't think I'm articulating this any better than when I paused in the moment, but to me it's like, if you can't have a better life in the upload world than what you had in the real world, there should be an option to be like, no, no thank you. And that's what I'm not understanding, if that option's there. I may have to go back to episode 1 and see if because I know Nathan, at the time of his accident, everything happened under duress. He didn't have an upload plan, as Ingrid had said. So if you are familiar with this show and you know kind of the ins and outs with the details, please let me know in the comments if in this world there's a choice, or is it like, if you're poor in the real world, it's like, too bad, so sad. If you die, your body dies, they just put you up in the low class of upload like that, without your consent, or without your giving you an option to just be officially dead. Do you know what I mean? I hope it's clear. If not, let me know and I'll try to clarify it back through a reply in the comments. All right, now the second thing let's talk about is my mixed feelings about Nora and her feelings for Nathan and how she's going about it, because in episode 3, it was clear. I mean, if you watched it, you know how I felt about this whole thing where Ingrid shows her true colors, where she pretty much tells Nathan, I am boss. I own you and I can delete you, literally, with a swipe of a button. So Nora saw for herself, and she sees it in his account, right? It's being paid for by Ingrid. She's in charge of all the finances, maintaining the existence of his consciousness in that world. So I feel her crush and her feelings now for him on a personal level. Although that's cute and fun to watch, I'm practical that way. I can't help but think, okay, you're now obviously now going to possibly interfere with his money in a sense, right? Because if Ingrid, and I think that's what's going to happen, they're likely probably going to have an affair, right? And then Ingrid's going to find out, and Ingrid might threaten to delete him. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel Nora's not taken that into consideration. She's just like, oh, she has feelings for him and she wants to exercise it wherever she wants, and she's not thinking of the consequences. If he should lose his benefactor, really, he won't be there. There won't be a Nathan for you to engage with. That's just me being a little too thinking about it, too whatever, because this is, science fiction. So I'm just going to now make the safe assumption that she'll maybe figure that out along the line, right? Her crush or basically the reality of the situation will kick in for her, and hope maybe that's going to be how Nora will find some crazy cool way to rescue Nathan from the clutches of Ingrid, which leads into the third thing that I loved and take from this episode. And that it was Ingrid all along. Well, so far, that's what it looks like, right? Fran just discovered that Ingrid was there at the time when Nathan went into the convenience store and she did something to his car If you've been watching my reactions to this show, you know I've been suspecting Ingrid since day one. I didn't understand her motives and her intentions for wanting to have him in this upload world in the first place. And then in episode 3, we find out that the investors that Nathan almost signed an agreement with for his app, they likely had something to do with sabotaging his car, because in episode 2, we found out from that rich guy that we saw at the beginning of this episode, I forgot his name. To me, he's just Cigarette Man from the X-Files, but I gotta go find that character's name. But we find out from him that likely Nathan was murdered because of his idea that he had for his app was too competitive with the big giants of that tech world. So, what am I getting at? Right? I'm getting at the fact that Ingrid likely works for them. Probably. Or she has some connection. They either paid her off to sabotage his car, get him to go dead, so to speak, and then she'd get a payout, and she gets what she wants too, because she now has a man or a person to control and do her bidding until she's ready to go into that world so she won't be alone. I have a feeling that they are going to try to get us as a viewing audience to sympathize and empathize more with Ingrid by maybe showing more of her psychology or more of her trauma. Who knows what? I'm just assuming that. But for now, I think it's safe to say that Ingrid had definitely something to do with this accident. And I think all that is going to unravel, causing not only a rift between her and Nathan, but the question is now, how is it going to affect Nathan being in this world since she's paying for it? Will it be that Nora figures out some, brilliant plan to somehow keep him in that world, but not have Ingrid having to pay for anything? Or will Nora transfer all the stuff she was going to do for her dad and give it to Nathan as her way of committing to him as her love interest? I could see something like that, right? Because why did they put so much focus on her doing all this work for her father, and her father doesn't even want anything to do with that? Her father has his own plans, which is what she was having a problem with in episode 2. Yes, in episode 2. So, yeah. Okay, I'm seeing possibilities of where this could go for it to not only make sense, but also be the right choice for each character. Nora, Nathan, and Ingrid. I definitely have to give kudos to the comedic supporting characters because they all play their part in making this show so funny for me. I mean, down to just the smallest character. I mean, that little moment where that guy was like, calias, whatever, that's a cuss word in Quebec French culture. I was like, where did that come from? And considering the fact that, Robbie Amell is Canadian, I don't know if that was meant to mock French Canadians. I don't know. I don't even want to go there, but I just found that was weirdly interesting. But even just the tiny humor that they sprinkle here and there for the most mundane, willy-nilly kind of thing, that's what I like. I like that kind of dark, dry humor of stuff that you least expect, right? Like just even watching Ingrid in the bathtub, which I think is the biggest joke of all, right? She is going through all this trouble in the real world that, in my opinion, she's really getting the shit end of the stick to have to go through all that for a very brief period of intimacy with someone who's not physically there. If anything, that shows where likely technology will go for us to have the impression, because really it's a mental thing, right? That's really the bottom line, is that what's happening in a physical world is an impression on the mind. And so these VR type technology, including a suit, and to simulate that spicy sexual experience and, getting a release from it somewhat, it's fascinating. It's fascinating how that kind of technology would really imprint itself in the physical world. I guess only Elon Musk could probably answer those questions, and I probably wouldn't understand anyway. I don't know. there you have it. That is my reaction and review to episode 4 of the first season of Upload. I hope you had a good time reacting with me. If not, I hope you enjoyed this review. And for those of you willing to answer some of my questions that I had throughout this video, I can't wait to read them in the comment section. Nonetheless, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you for episode 5 next week. Peace, people. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and subscribe. You know you wanna.